Chisholm will be one of Victoria's most hotly contested seats at this year's federal election, thanks to its wafer-thin margin of just 0.5%. Both candidates are campaigning for the Chinese community's support. However, the Liberals have boycotted the popular WeChat platform after it allegedly locked out Scott Morrison. But amid a close Chisholm contest, Labor has so far declined to do similar, prioritising votes over any veto.
Chisholm is one of Australia's most multicultural electorates, encompassing Melbourne's eastern suburbs of Box Hill and Glen Waverley. More people here are born overseas than in Australia. After nearly 2 decades of Labor domination, Chisholm recently changed hands in 2016, the only Liberal gain in a narrow federal win. But the triumphant incumbent didn't last long. Julia Banks parted with the party after her ally and friend Malcolm Turnbull was ousted.
Effective immediately, I will serve as a member of this House of Representatives as an independent representative.
The messy exit prompted the prospect of the Liberals losing Chisholm in 2019, but Hong Kong-born Gladys Liu managed to hold on by 1,000 votes, becoming the first ever Chinese-Australian female Member of Parliament.
Anyway, Gladys, that's it, I'll vote for you.
She's lived in the electorate for more than 30 years, is a speech pathologist by trade and a keen chess player who prides herself on uniting people from different backgrounds.
I'm very much about getting them to know the Australian way of living here and what we do. And one particular thing that I did was bringing 150 Chinese migrants to go and experience lawn bowl.
But Gladys Liu's first term has been clouded by controversy, having come under fire for alleged links to the Chinese Communist Party.
I can tell you that I cannot recall. I never knew that I was part of any united front, and I am still awaiting to see evidence of me being part of the united front. It is not accurate information.
It's a vexed issue in Chisholm, where Chinese is the most common ancestry, making up around 1/5 of constituents. And it was this controversial campaign to court their votes at the last election that landed the Liberals in hot water. Corflutes deliberately resembling the Electoral Commission's purple branding, instructing Chinese-speaking constituents that the correct way to vote was to put the Liberals first.
That is something that is not under my control, but this time, obviously, we will pay extra attention that nothing like that will happen.
It's not the only campaign communication cancelled this time. Chinese messaging service WeChat was pivotal to Gladys's ability to reach swinging Chinese voters. But now she's boycotting the platform after the Prime Minister lost control of his own WeChat account amid allegations Beijing blocked him out.
It is really disappointing, and it should cause serious concern to political interference.
Possibly giving Labor an advantage this time around if they maintain their messaging there.
We've got a lot of people in the Chinese community here in Chisholm where English may be a second language, and they're on WeChat, and that's the way to reach them, and so that's what we're doing currently.
Labor's Karina Garland is an academic and senior union official.
We are the party of good, secure jobs, of quality healthcare.
She has a PhD in gender studies and is passionate about improving culture in Parliament, previously admitting she's experienced firsthand unacceptable treatment during her time as a parliamentary staffer.
It is really important that every workplace in this country is safe.
Chisholm is a crucial seat for Scott Morrison to defend, so much so he's been here twice since the Victorian border reopened. If just 500 voters switch their support to Labor this time around, it'll cost them the seat and possibly their chances of forming government.
Opposition leader Anthony Albanese is also a frequent visitor to the battleground seat, hoping to highlight the government's mismanagement of the pandemic, an issue front of mind for Chisholm voters.
I think the federal government has handled it poorly, and I think the state government has handled it a lot worse. There seems to be a a cop-out in the community now that everybody blames Scott Morrison for everything.
Rat tests ought to be freely available.
It'll be a tight race in an electorate which represents a melting pot of ideas and opinions, all set to boil over at the ballot box. Julia Bradley, Sky News in Chisholm.